At some point you notice that your body becomes more like a manifestation of energy than matter, and by building up awareness, every time you can see the bigger picture. It is the tool that allows one to come to himself very quickly and easily, to distinguish between the false and the real, just as one torch lights another, to shine and help others to light their torches. My name is Semyon. I'm 24 years old, and I'm from the city of Sochi. I was very lucky. When I first found out about the retreat, I was so happy that it was going to be held so close to me. In a way, like it's not me coming to the retreat, it's the retreat coming to me. I've been engaged in self-development since I was 19. It all started with reading spiritual books. At that time, there was no such term as spirituality for me. I mean, you read a book and you feel the power in it. Likewise, the book fills you up and becomes a teacher in some way, taking you up one step at a time. It just happened that my next step was Kriya Yoga. I found out about Master in the Kriya teaching and came to the retreat at the earliest opportunity. I learned about Kriya from my father, who was also a spiritual practitioner. He also led me to Master and sent me some videos from the Master's channel on YouTube. It really got me. The presentation, strength and conviction of the man who speaks about such things caught me. He speaks very simply and easily, and puts his thoughts into a very accessible form for everyone. I found it difficult at first, but not because I don't know the exercises. It was difficult to cope with the sense of changes that Master recommended to feel in yourself, because in Kriya practice, the focus is on the changes that appear within, and we pay attention to them at the perception level. So the mind resisted that for a while. These techniques or practices are suitable for everyone, because each person deep down in their soul thirsts for these changes. There's just such a wonderful friend as the mind that keeps a man from moving forward, trapping him in stability and routine. When you practice Kriya for a while, you begin to notice that your body becomes more a manifestation of energy than matter. You feel an inner light coming out of you. There is a serenity in your words, and you become more convinced and convincing for others. All these changes have a strong impact on your environment. You can walk into a space, let's say a circle of friends where you haven't been for a long time, but you come in with the knowledge of the practice or after the practice, and you shine without saying a word. You change the space just with your presence. I believe it's a miracle in a way. When you practice, at some point, you go into a mode of practice in the world. There are exercises, and then there is awareness, which you carry around in you all the time. When you bring this awareness outwards, you constantly begin to notice the changes happening around you, the smallest changes inside and outside you. You become more sensitive, more manifested as something luminous. For guys of my generation, I can recommend that they start engaging in self-development. There is no need to go straight into some kind of spiritual practice. First, examine your body, reconsider your diet, think about why certain changes are happening, positive or negative, well, negative in particular. I realize that every moment of life is always a new piece of joy. It's just sometimes you are not aware enough to realize it. By building up awareness, you can see the bigger picture. To see ahead the goodness that follows a particular event, whether it is negative or positive. As a motivation, I'd like to say that you have to be brave enough, be yourself, to immerse in yourself and start a spiritual practice, not even just for yourself, but for your environment. To help your environment to remove some diseases or to avoid some problems. Why is it important to practice Kriya? Kriya practice is the tool that helps one to come to himself very simply and easily. To understand what you want, where you want to go, what you need at the moment, or on the contrary, what you don't need to achieve that, and distinguish between the false and the real. At the first retreat, there was a persistent feeling that you were coming to a very familiar place with many simple and sincere people who were ready to help and support you, even though you are not familiar with the practices. There is no separation and no distance between people. As for my first retreat, it was my first conscious step towards my goal to live simply, easily, sincerely, to help people with all my actions, with all my presence, without thinking about how you look and talk. Less thinking, more following the inner call, to have the courage to act on your inner call. For me, Master is the personification of high spiritual conductivity. In one way or another, we are aspects of that very high, sincere, and kind. It's just that our manifestation is on different levels. We come here to see how one can be more manifested as a high principle. To shine more, I would say. To radiate a highly powerful spiritual force that transforms space. This helps us, just as one torch lights another, to shine and help others to light their torches.